So the principles of design is our project 3. Project objectives for this project is to learn and identify the principles of design. You're going to learn to see unique characteristics of each design principle, explore and experiment with potential of combining principles, be able to identify and explain the design principles in examples presented, and develop basically a visual literacy. In this project, we're going to be continuing to use Adobe Illustrator, and we're going to create a one-page poster to introduce yourselves as a creative. We're going to be focusing on the 7 principles of graphic design we reviewed in class today. You're going to incorporate at least 5 to 7 design principles, and then fill out a given worksheet explaining which ones were used and where on your poster when you apply them. The poster must include text and images to convey a clear message of who you are. The principles of graphic design are intended to create a layout format that is informative and still attractive to viewers. Here's the list of that we just went through. Alignment, which creates order from chaos, lining up the placement of text and images in order to create a clear and organized layout. Repetition creates an easy flow and navigation of poster, uniformity between images, text, and style in order to produce rhythm in page layout. Simplicity is the design discipline of minimizing, refining, or editing back a design. Proximity is the grouping and arrangement between graphic objects, text, and images, and creates a connection throughout the poster. Balance is choosing symmetry or asymmetry or radial. Contrast focuses and emphasizes to parts of a layout. And then hierarchy means highlighting the visual elements that are most important to a composition. So let's go through the process. The first thing we're going to do is brainstorm. We're going to begin by creating a mind map of ideas of what you want to share about yourself on your poster. Think of 5 adjectives that represent you. Use those 5 keywords at the first level of spokes on your mind map. You will build your word list and mind map on your mural process board for project 3. Once you finish your mind map, you're going to choose your strongest ideas to move forward with into sketching. Sketching will be starting to create thumbnail sketches in your sketchbook, creating 4 sketches for your poster. You want to review the design principles to think about how you will lay out your design. You will need to include 5 to 7 principles in your layout. Your poster will include the following: your name, a short biography. This can be keywords or a very short paragraph. Images that represent you. These can be made by you or royalty-free images. And you can use icons. And you can use icons from the Noun Project, and I'll show you what that is in a little bit. Then we'll go on to digital roughs. One design direction will be chosen to move into digital roughs with Adobe Illustrator. You're going to import your sketch into Illustrator and put it on its own layer and lock it down. Then you'll work using layers to create your design. You can bring in images that you have created, or images that are from royalty-free areas like Unsplash. You cannot incorporate trademarked or copyrighted images into your design. You will create 2 versions of your poster for class critique for this review. The poster size we're working with is 11 by 17. We'll then move into refinements, and that will be based on the one design direction we chose, and refinements will be implemented based on the class feedback. And then you'll go into final. The final will be saved as a PDF. You will submit your final design to Blackboard, and you will post it on your all class critique board in Mural. All right, and then at the very end, there's a worksheet for you to fill out for the final, and it's on the last page of the assignment sheet here. And it's saying, basically, tell me which ones you used and then how you use them in your poster. So if you used alignment, what did you use? Using alignment. If you did repetition, what did you use? Repetition, blah, and so on and so forth. And I didn't add any lines here because I thought if you want to just, to make a text box and then type into it, you can do that. So Yeah, so that's basically the assignment. It's a fairly quick assignment. We're only going to be working on this for a couple of weeks. But I feel like you know each other. You know yourself, right? So this will be pretty straightforward. Let me show you what we're going to do in Mural. We're going to go on to Mural, and I have project 3 already set up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to go to this, we're going to go into project 3, and then we're going to go into templates, and we're going to go to COD classroom templates. And I want you to grab what we have is a process board template. There's two kinds. There's a column one, and I'll show you what this looks like. You want to make sure you don't use the one that says your room. You want to make sure you grab the one that says Spring SP24 Graphic Design 1, and then select Project 3. And I'm going to say Create Mural. So here's what this process board looks like, and it's a way to help organize your thoughts as you're working through your design. So up here in the project, you can kind of just go in here. You can say Project 3. You can call it Design Principles. You can put your name. And then you can add any notes over here. And that could be notes about your design principles you're choosing to use. Like you can start with saying, okay, I know I'm going to use balance. Maybe I know I'm going to use, I don't know, radial. And then you can go on, put whatever your notes you would like to put in. Up here is the research, and this would be your mind map area. And I'm going to show you, well, let me ask by a quick little raise of hands. How many of you have made mind maps before? How familiar are we with the concept of mind maps? You want to just raise your digital hand and let me know if you're familiar with mind maps. Just 2 of us? No one else has used them? Okay. So it's fairly new, it sounds like. All right. So mind map is actually a tool we have inside of Mural, which is kind of cool. And it's right over here on the toolbar. It's called Mind Maps. And so when you click the tool, it starts off with, you can make it any size you want. And so in the middle, you just put your, me, right? This is about me. So I'm going to make a mind map. When I said to create a 4 or 5 words about yourself, you're going to do like spokes going around. So if I can say, love of learning, just love of learning. Okay. And then over here, I can add another spoke, and I can say, I also love nature. And then I can do another spoke. I don't want to do a horizontal. I want to do it to be. Can't I add more? I thought I could add more. Oh, I think that's how you do it. You click the button there. That's going to do it horizontal. So then you can also say another spoke and say photography. Put your favorite subjects. And then over here, I can add another spoke. And I can say, you know what I mean? You get the idea. And then once you have what you have, and then about where I'm from. I could then add things off of typography. So wait, no. Boom. So then I can say typography, maybe I think about like, what is my favorite font? And then maybe I can say, or maybe my type category, or, you know, maybe it's so maybe you sort of saying you just keep building out on additional things for each item. So, you know, you're going to have a couple for each item, you're going to have a couple, and you're going to keep going. You know, you're going to have multiple things that you're going to add to kind of build this out, to come up with ideas of things that you're going to want to maybe incorporate in your poster that kind of give a well-rounded story of you. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if it makes sense, thumbs down if you are confused. Okay, I think half of us are with me. I don't know where the other half are. Are you guys around? All right, thanks guys that are here. So that's the first step, and you make that up here in your mind map. And then once you have that mind map, you'll be ready to kind of start looking at it. And like I said, make it as big as possible, because then you can start thinking, okay, what are the things I want to illustrate in my poster about me? You know, maybe I want to, you know, think about all the things that can oh, I see someone's locked out of class. There we go. Let them back in. Think about all the things that matter that you want to bring into the design. And so then you can start sketching. You're going to use your sketchbook and start sketching. We'll scan those sketches in like we've scanned using our scanning apps, and we'll bring the sketches here into and put them on the Miro board to share in class. And then, you know, we'll do revisions, and we'll put it all our process in an organized way throughout this. So that's kind of what this is about. The mood board is an area where you can put image references. So once you have this list of what you want to do, your mind map, then you might, if you're going to sketch, like, let's say you're going to sketch, I don't know, an apple. It might be helpful to have an image of an apple up here so you can reference it when you're sketching, right? So just like we used photo references for our simplification drawings, you're going to want, for whatever we're going to put in our poster, which is going to be a combination of images and type, you're going to want to have reference materials and images. So you're going to want to start pulling reference materials of things that matter. And you all know what you're interested in. So think about things like your, you know, collections, things that you love doing in your off time as well. Things that are creative, like definitely think of what kind of creative activities are really important to you. So in other words, like we should be able to look at this poster and have a good idea of like who you are and what you're interested in. Yeah, I see a question. Luna, go right ahead.
How careful should we be about copyrighted things?
You should not use them at all.
Okay.
That's why I put that in the project brief. No copyrighted items or images, no trademarked images. You need to either have taken the photos yourself, drawn them yourself, or if you want to use something that is an image of something that's important that you want to share, you can use a website like Unsplash. You can use Creative Commons, any kind of image that is not copyrighted, you can use.
Yeah, that was pretty much my question because I knew like actually using something that was strictly copyrighted was forbidden, but I was wondering if something like hinting or referencing at, like if you know, you know, like yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want to. And the reason is we want to be able to use these in your portfolio. And if you put it something that's copyrighted, and all our portfolios are going to be online always, you will risk getting it taken down, being told to stop and take it down. So you can't really promote something that's copyrighted. So, the question is, what are other websites for images like Unsplash? There is a bunch. I think one is called Pixel. Hold on, I gotta think about it. Pixel.
You mean Pixpay?
What is it called?
Pixpay?
Pixpay. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Pixabay. That's another one. Royalty-free images. You're going to need to make sure that they're big enough. You can also just do a Google for Creative Commons images. That's fine. Then the other source I wanted to share with you is called the Noun Project. So, and the Noun Project is for icons. So if you want to, and I'll share my screen real quick. If you want to use, and another thing is you can use images, you can use icons. Designers have gotten together and created the Noun Project, and you basically type in, so if I want to do, I don't know, park, let's say I want something that references a park. I just type it in, and now it gives me icons from different artists that are referencing parks. And you can see they're all different styles, all different qualities. And so the way this works is, let's say you pick one. So I'm going to grab this one, and it says there's a Creative Commons icon. So Creative Commons means I can use it as an icon. I can customize it. I can copy it. You have to get a free account so you can kind of get them off. And I have one, but I'm not going to sign in right now. And then they can also show you other ones from that collection. And then it shows you variations anyway. So you can use, these are all great opportunities for if you need icons. You don't have to reinvent the icon for this particular project, or you can get ideas and then create your own, like get some ideas of like, oh, I see what people are thinking, and now I want to make my own to make it really be specifically to me, custom. So that's icons. Here is Pixabay. Again, you just type in, so if I say park, let's just keep going with the park. And now I have different pictures of parks. And then I can do Unsplash, royalty free.
I think another one is like Pexels. It's Pexels. I think that's one of them. I forgot its name. Something like
What
that.
is it? How do you spell it?
Pexels. It's like pixels, but spelled wrong.
That's actually the one I was thinking of, because I'm like, it's like pixels, but it's not. Yes, this is it. This is the other one. So yeah, they're out there, and you can Google like royalty free images, free stock photos, so you don't have to pay. I mean, there's stock photos out there that you have to pay for. So it can be helpful to have ones that you don't have to pay for. So anyway, those are different ways to get images. You're going to want to also work, if we go back, oh, my Zoom stuff is in the way. Let me move this. You're going to want to go, where's my mural? Okay, so we're going back to, so your mood board, you can start bringing images in from any of those sources. So if I, wanted to grab a picture, I'm a surfer, I'm going to say I'm going to be a surfer. And then I can come back to my mural board, and then just move that. Where'd my surfer go? Oh, there it is. And I can bring my surfer over here on my mood board. So I can start kind of collecting images that I'm thinking of for my design here on the mood board. In my notes, I can start thinking about like, what's my copy going to be? So here's an area where you can work and so maybe I'm going to say, I can put my notes of what are the design principles I'm thinking of using. But then I can also put my notes of like, okay, I know I need to have my name. And what else do I want to, I need a bio. What else do I want to say about myself? So I have some text. And like I said, it can be a bullet list. You can just say, you know, creative, and you can say, like learner. You can go on. You can put a list of you know, adjectives. You can also put a bio, which you might have if you've already, you know, done a resume or written a bio, or you can start writing one. It doesn't have to be long. It's a poster. You know, even think of like a headline. You could do a tagline. You could also do like a headline if you like. So those are things to think about. You know, so you kind of start thinking about what's the type and the copy you're going to be putting on here. So that can be in your project notes. And then the design rationale is what we'll be doing at the end. So don't worry about that. And that's where you'll also be talking about how you use the design principles within your design. And then so you have a sketches, revised sketches. We'll be doing a digital roughs, refinements, and then our final. And I'm introducing you to the process board. I use this with most of my classes. I didn't use it for the first project because we didn't have as many things, but now that we're moving into more design projects, this is how we organize our design process work. So it allows us to kind of keep track and have everything in one place that we can go to and use. And you'll keep updating this as you work through your designs. Okay. I see any questions. Let's see. Are we allowed to make it very resume adjacent? You can, or you can, you know, here you can have fun with it. I mean, we don't want it to be it doesn't have to be too serious. It is like, how do we kind of like introduce ourselves out there? Like if we were kind of introducing ourselves to the world as, you know, creative designer. I'm a designer. This is my poster telling you all about the things that I love to do and why I love being creative and why I want to be a designer and what I want to be all about. So like you notice even in my mind map, I started saying things that like I love typography, but I also love nature. And nature for me gives me lots of inspiration towards my design work. So if there's something that inspires you for the design or your creative work, definitely. But yeah, you can pull things from your resume, absolutely. But I want you to have fun with it. The idea here is to really have fun, and it should be playful. And think about all the ways that you can play with this. If you have like a bobblehead collection or something, start taking pictures of the things you collect. Let's say you have a rock collection or something. Maybe find a way to bring that into it. So anything that you like is important to you, or like you have a side thing that you love, or let's say you're a snowboarder and that's your passion, or a surfer, like I put up here, like let's say I was a surfer and I'd want to highlight how that plays into my life too. So whatever it is, bring all of those things that are about you. Yes, this is being recorded. Yeah, so you can definitely watch it after. So does that help? Any other questions though? I'd love to answer any questions you might have as we're starting to think about it.
Can we see any examples? Or are you saving that for later?
I'm going to save it for later. I don't want to influence you.
All right, thank you.
No influencing yet. So yeah, so think about, so the first step here is mind map. And so, and start doing some image on your mood board. So the first thing I'd like you to think about for next class is finish your mind map. And then let's get a bunch of images here gathered for your mood board. And again, you can make them small so you can fit lots of images on here. Don't feel like you have to go big on this. Make them nice and small so you can zoom in and we can see them and go there. So yes, you're going to make your mind map here in the mind map area on the research. You're going to start image searching. You can look at color palettes. You can look at textures. You can look at things that you like, or take photos with your phone. Like you have, like I said, if you have a collection of, I don't know, who has collections? What do you guys have collections of? Anyone have something
Rocks.
cool?
I collect bones and antique ceramic figurines.
Oh, I love that. That's very cool. I definitely want to see those. Anyone else? Who else has collections?
I also got cards, like playing cards.
Awesome. My mom collects playing cards too. She loves them. I buy them for her everywhere I go.
Okay, wait, does she collect them by design or does she collect them by place? Or does she do like both?
I think it's mostly by place, but I
Ooh,
am a
okay.
designer, so I always pick the best designed ones of a place.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So my mom has quite a good collection. Oh, that's cool. Any other collections? Those are two good ones.
I collect tarot cards. Like whenever I find cool ones with like cool designs, I buy them. I don't really read them, but they're cool to have.
Yeah, tarot cards are awesome. Souvenirs when you travel. I see a souvenirs from Herberto. Yes, perfect. Other things. Oh, good. Books, merch in general. Yeah. So start thinking about the things that you care about. The other thing is like if you have a treasure drawer, like I have a drawer, I keep all my things that I like get from places that are meaningful, but I don't really know where to put, like dump that out and see what you could pull out of that. I mean, don't be afraid to photograph and create your own imagery. You're learning the tools that you can simplify. Like let's say you have, maybe it's just even like pens and markers and brushes, like things that you use to draw with. We can photograph these and quickly sketch them out or image trace them in Illustrator and turn them into cool illustrations for the poster. So nothing's to blame. Like you love, like for me, I think I'd probably have water and coffee, things I always have on me at all times, like just things that matter. Yeah, you can make it like what's in your bag for sure. Michaela, that's an excellent point. You can dump out your bag and say, what do I carry around? What is it? What says it? What does our bag say about us? Guys, if it's in your pocket or if you have a merce, you know, whatever, your backpack, pull out everything out of your backpack. What do you keep with you? What do you care about and having with you on hand? So yeah, you can use things like that. Make it personal. The more things you can do on your own that are yours, the better. Yeah, I like to think about like dumping out your bag, your backpack, whatever it is, and like look at the stuff and say, get inspired by that. Like, what do I carry around, these bouncy balls for, because I like, bouncing them when I'm thinking or whatever. Like, sure, include those. Good. Any other fun things you like that matter to you? All right. Well, any other questions before we wrap up